Hey guys, welcome back to Almost Every Monday. I'm Katie.
And I'm Madison.
And we're here to catch you up on what you missed this week.
Yeah.
Let's get this out ahead of it. This is going to be a quick episode. Let's say 40 minutes.
Speed run.
To be honest, we just have had a late start today, and we have a lot of fun plans this afternoon.
We are booked and busy.
We're booked and busy. Right after this, we're going to play pickleball. Then we're going to a brewery with some people. And then tomorrow, we're watching Little Women.
Yeah.
A group watch, not just like me and Madison.
Yes. We're just so popular.
We're so
and cool
popular.
And have so many friends.
And we have a lot of things to do. Also, I'll get into this. So instead of recapping the past week, 2 weeks, however long we haven't been here of our lives, we're just going to do a vibe check.
Yeah. A quick rundown.
How we're feeling, what we're watching right now, what we're listening to, and maybe a fun meal or drink you've had, just to spice things up. I'll go first because Madison was still thinking before we recorded. But my vibe check is, just to be honest and vulnerable, I'm feeling really ugly the past couple of days.
No.
You know, like when you just like feel ugly, like there's no rhyme or reason. Yeah. Like that's just how I'm feeling. I've been having a lot of acne lately, and at this point I'm just like, I'm 26 years old and I'm like, I'm sick of it. But I'm like, I did a lot of research the other day on like you know how like, well, maybe this is
different
TMI.
Classes and stuff?
Well, yeah, like when I was on birth control on the pill, I had no acne. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I went off of it because it was just like making me crazy, which I feel like is like a lot of women's stories.
Yes.
And also like, I'm turning 27 this year. I'm not having a kid anytime soon, but like, I just wanted to kind of clear my body of that for when I do have a kid.
Yeah,
anyway.
You don't want excessive
I don't need, exactly. Yeah. So then I went off birth control and all my acne came back, and I haven't really had it in like 2 years, but I have had it. I have had hormonal acne my whole life. And so then it came back, and I was like, the other day I like looked at something on like my chart for like, you know, like the doctor's office. And I looked at like the birth control I used to be on, and I was like, okay, what was the birth control pumping me full of that
probably
cleared my acne? Well, it's progesterone. And because I was on a very low dose of estrogen and I was on a pretty high dose of progesterone, maybe I'm saying that wrong and somebody can correct me. So I basically looked up like how I can do that with like a supplement or like food or something, and it basically was like, it's not like vitamin C, like you can't just take it. You can eat and drink things that cause your body to produce more of it, which is like, I guess, what the birth control was doing. Yeah. So I did a lot of research on that, and so maybe I'll keep you guys updated, but that's my thought right now. Watching, Jackson and I only have 2 more episodes left of Ted Lasso, and I'm pretty sad. The episode we just watched was really, really good. I won't say anything because Madison's still watching it, and she's a little bit behind us, but it was the international episode where like, I think it's episode 10 of season 3, and it's like a lot of them go and play on like their like home international teams. Like Danny went and played for Mexico.
Oh, cute.
Van Damme went and played for Canada. So cute.
That
so like
cute.
Stuff like that. So that's what we're watching. I'm also watching The Chosen, if you know what that is. I watched it in 2020 when it came out, and I only watched season 1. And then when season 2 came out, I never watched it. Now there's 4 seasons. Yeah, and I just think that I was like, this sounds so weird and like not how I actually think. For some reason I thought I needed to like watch it when I was in like a spiritual mood, after I'd like read my Bible or like gone to church. Kind of, but that's not true. Like Jackson and I watched an episode last night just like before we went to bed. Before I went to bed, Jackson stays up later than me, but like before I went to bed we just like watched an episode and it was cool. So I'm like, okay, I need to do that more often.
Kristen Johns, who I love, the influencer. Who's actually my best friend.
Kristen.
And her friend John, who have a podcast now, they talked about like their night routines or something. And he lives with his sister right now, and they have been watching The Chosen before bed instead of like going on their phones at night. So that way they're like,
that is cool.
Kind of winding down.
One of my goals is to start reading before bed one of my goals is to not scroll in my bed. Yeah. Because I just end up literally wasting 2 hours of sleep. Yeah. Like I could have just gone to bed. So I'm like, maybe I'll scroll sitting on my couch, and then it's like, but I don't really like sitting on our couch. Not that our couch isn't comfortable. It's just like, I like laying in bed better. So I'm like, maybe it'll be like, all right, well, if I want to scroll on TikTok, then like I need to sit on the couch, and like, then once I go to my room, then like I'm not going to scroll on it.
Yeah.
Or I've been trying to like not do that, not scroll and like do the Wordle instead. Mm-hmm. Or really just not let myself go on TikTok because like it's so enticing to go on TikTok, but like and keep scrolling. But if I go on Instagram, like I can only scroll for like 5 minutes on Instagram.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm listening to the Tortured Poets Department, which we'll get into later, but I did cry on the way to work the other day listening to I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. And Jackson said, do you want to like get to the bottom of that? And I was like, I mean, not really. Like, I'm not upset about anything. I just think it's like thinking about.
It's just like tuck deep in there.
Yeah, well, like I just think it's like I don't like negative emotions and negative things. Sorry, my contact. I just had to poke it. Sorry. And so I try to like shield myself from them, and so I was like, I don't really know. Like I just was like crying, and I was like, okay.
Feels like it's turned into a doctor's appointment for you. Like physical, emotional health.
Okay. As far as eating / drinking, here's what I'm gonna say. I got an espresso for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I really haven't gotten coffee out since, unless like it's been like somebody asked me to go get coffee or something like that. Yeah. Like if it's been like an activity with somebody else, I'm like, yeah, I've done it. But like I haven't once like wanted to stop at Starbucks or Dunkin' on the way to work, or like go get coffee on a Saturday morning by myself, which I feel like I used to.
Yeah.
And because I just like my coffee at home so much. I get any blonde roast or vanilla like pod, like normal pod, and then I put it in my Nespresso and I click it twice so it pulls it as a double espresso, which is a money-saving hack because the double espresso pods are more expensive than just the normal coffee pods, but you can get your Nespresso to pull it as a double espresso.
Yeah.
So I just double click it, do that. I put in 1 pump, or 1 tablespoon, I should say. I measure everything out so that like, somebody was telling me that they make their coffee and it's hit or miss every time, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm just gonna measure everything, and then it'll be perfect every time.
So funny.
And the only thing I don't measure is the cinnamon, because I'm not gonna do that. I just put like, a dash or 2 of cinnamon in there.
Yeah.
I put a tablespoon of the brown sugar syrup from Starbucks in it, and then I put 200 milliliters of unsweetened vanilla almond milk.
Oh,
and it's perfect.
Oh, there
it's
you
perfect.
Go.
Oh, and then I put ice in it, obviously. It's a cold drink, not a hot drink. Yes. And it's perfect, and I really haven't, like, this morning we went to the farmer's market, and normally I'd be like, Jackson, can we get Starbucks? But I was like, I just want my coffee.
Wow.
So yeah, that's me. That's my vibe check.
Go off.
Madison.
Okay, first watching, obviously Ted Lasso, trying to finish it. I just got to the episode about, what's his name? Coach Beard?
The one about him in Amsterdam?
Yeah. I, like, passed that episode.
Wait, you didn't watch it?
I, like, watched part of it, and then it was, like...
The Amsterdam episode?
No, the one where
I thought
like,
you were
just
in season 3.
No, I am.
Oh. That's in season 3?
Yes. It's right at the beginning.
Oh, when he, like, gets beat up by Jamie's dad at the end? I mean, maybe you skipped over that, but he gets in an alley fight with Jamie's dad.
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was in season 2 for some reason.
I /skipped that episode.
It's not important.
I think I watched the next one and maybe another after that. I think. I wish I had, like, Apple TV on my phone.
Yeah,
so I could, like, see where I'm at, but I don't. Cause,
well, I'll look it up
somebody else's Apple
while
TV.
You listen.
And then I've been watching Abbott Elementary, who they just came back for season... How many seasons are there? 3, I think? 4?
I don't know.
I can't remember now that I'm thinking about it. But I just caught up last night. I watched 2 more episodes. I feel like I go like 2-week like increments without watching because I just kind of forget about it. So then I have 2 episodes to catch up.
Not to interject, but The Beard After Hours is in season 2. It's episode 9.
Intriguing.
Have you...
I'm definitely in season 3.
Okay.
Let me see the titles.
Smells Like Mean Spirit.
Signs I've definitely seen.
Sunflowers. This is the Amsterdam episode, Sunflowers.
Oh, I thought...
When the team goes to Amsterdam.
For some reason, I thought the Beard episode was right before Amsterdam. Mm-mm. That's weird.
Have you watched the Amsterdam one?
Yes, because they go on the bike ride to go see the windows.
Yeah, and like Rebecca's in the boat with the guy.
Yeah. I did
So you
watch
finish that, and then the Strings That Bind Us is when they start the new strategy.
I don't think,
which isn't a spoiler, but
think
the
I've
Strings
seen
That
that one.
Bind Us is a funny title, knowing what happens in the episode.
I feel like I remember seeing that title, so maybe I like got to it, but then stopped.
I'm like really sad we only have 2 episodes left. Although I found out that, I don't know that you watched this, but Jackson and I watched Game of Thrones. Well, Jackson's watched Game of Thrones like 3 or 4 times. I've only watched it once, and I kind of watched it again with Jackson and his brother, just like periodically. And then we watched the spin-off show House of Dragon and or House of the Dragon, I don't remember, but I just found out that the new season comes out June 16th, and I was like, oh, I thought it wasn't coming out till August, so I'm excited about that. Anyway,
you're interrupting my time.
I'm sorry,
now.
I'm done.
I feel like honestly I haven't watched that much TV.
I would agree.
Because pretty much I'll come home, nap, make dinner, go to bed. So not much room for TV watching.
Right.
But if I do watch something, it's usually a movie. So I've been watching a bunch of my favorite movies, obviously. Like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Love.
Just watched that the other day. Me and Ashlyn watched Anyone But You. It's now on Netflix.
What? I need to watch it then.
Yeah.
Am I gonna like it? Are there any scenes?
There's one. But it's not like...
You don't see anything?
No.
Okay.
It's not like aggressive.
Okay.
Like
thank you.
in your
not
face.
like Euphoria.
No. Not like that. Anyway. I made the mistake of telling Tatiana that we watched it without her because she was asleep.
That's a grave mistake.
She was asleep before we got home from work. And didn't see her that night. And she woke up the next morning. So we watched the movie, and then I stupidly told her that we watched it last night at dinner, and she was like, I'm never talking to you guys again. How dare you? And I was like, what? I'm sorry. I was like, we can watch it again. And she was like, no, I don't want to watch it with you guys now. I was like, we already watched it all together in theaters. What do you mean? But that was funny.
I might watch that tonight, actually.
I think what else I might have watched recently. I don't know. I feel like I'm either rewatching older movies that I've seen a bunch, like Top Gun Maverick. Rewatched that recently.
I want to rewatch that, actually.
It's so good. Or Ted Lasso, Abbott Elementary, and then Survivor, obviously.
Obviously.
Listening, obviously Taylor Swift's new album. A lot of different podcasts from like just influencers that I like.
Love podcasts.
And
What's your favorite podcast you're listening to right now?
Probably. I don't know. I feel like I just like bounce between them. Like I'm not like a consistent listener on any of them.
Oh, I'm
like
so
I'm not
different.
like waiting for them to come out.
Oh yeah, that's not me.
I know you have a strict schedule. But like, because like Kristen John's podcast comes out on Wednesdays, but I don't normally listen to them on Wednesday. And then her sister Ashlyn's podcast comes out on Fridays now. She just started a podcast. And then I've been going back and listening to some episodes of Call Her Daddy, like different interviews with people, like the Emma Chamberlain one, and there's one other one I listened to pretty recently.
Did you see the new Emma Chamberlain ad?
Yes.
I want she's Emma
Kendall
Chamberlain
Jenner.
and Kendall Jenner are doing a collab with Chamberlain Coffee and 818 Tequila to do a espresso martini.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I don't know in what way they're like. Are they packaging them?
I don't really know.
Because I would purchase one. I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Okay. What was I saying?
Podcast.
Oh, podcast. Yes. So I feel like I've just been bouncing around between podcasts and like kind of catching them whenever I'm feeling like listening to someone. And then obviously Jeff's podcast I watch pretty much as soon as I finish the episode. And then music-wise, yesterday at work, we had a pretty rough day at work.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't crazy. It was just like we did our full like turnover day, which means that we just like go through camp and clean everything. But then we also added in some extras to prepare for summer.
Well, it's sold out.
Kendall Jenner's espresso martini.
Yep. Anyway, I'm gonna try and figure it out, but you keep going.
And so it was just like a lot physically taxing. And so we were like, okay, what music is gonna keep us all in higher spirits than what we have been? And so we were listening to like Disney Channel 2010s, like music that we grew up on, like just that like poppy fun whatever. And Miley Cyrus's Meet Miley Cyrus album, some of those songs came on, and I was like, I haven't listened to some of these in so long. And so on my drive down here, I listened to it, and they're so good. Like, it's crazy. It came out in 2007. It's so good. But like, what is it? See You Again? Is that what it's called? That song?
Yeah. See You Again.
And then like East Northumberland High. I can't even remember the names of them, but I was listening to it on the way down here, and I was like, holy cow, this was in 2007. Miley Cyrus was releasing these bangers. Literally. Like, that's crazy. She's been at the, like, top of her game forever.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like. So that's all that I've been listening to.
Slay.
Eating and drinking. I'm trying to think. I feel like I've pretty much been living on a diet of like tater tots and dino nuggets at home. Although we did go out, a few of us last night, to dinner at like the Mexican place in town. That's really good. And so I got my waffle fry nachos, which are so good.
I got them one time and I didn't really like them. Well, I think wild. It was just really salty. So I think they maybe oversalted them or something, because like they were so salty I couldn't eat them. I ate the chicken off of them.
I don't feel like they're normally salty.
Okay.
But they're so good, and it's essentially like Chick-fil-A fries.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some people try to do waffle fries and they're not the same.
Yeah.
But like these fries are legit like Chick-fil-A
crispy,
level goodness.
Yeah.
And then it's like queso, and I get chicken on them, and then they put some other kind of cheese, I feel like, on top sometimes. And they're so delicious. And then I just had a house marg, and it was pretty decent.
I went to the same Mexican place a couple weeks ago, and I was looking at what marg to get, because I usually don't get margs there.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like usually when I go there, I usually feel so full that the thought of drinking an alcoholic drink makes me nauseous.
Oh, yep.
But this time I was like, okay, I'm gonna get one. And I was looking at all the ingredients. I wasn't looking at the names. I was just looking at the ingredients and all the drinks. And I was like, one of them had like, it was so simple. It literally had like tequila, lime juice, agave nectar, and like something else in it. I was like, oh, I want that. And it ended up being the skinny marg. And I was like, oh, well, I didn't really mean to get that, but I want this one. It was the best marg I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was so good. Like, it was perfect. Like, just enough tasting of the tequila, just enough tasting of the...
and like a house marg?
I don't know. I'm guessing the house marg has simple syrup in it, and
maybe.
I think that's... I don't like sugary margs, like, because they make my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Like, when we go to Pueblo, the other Mexican restaurant, which is like, think like... The basic level Mexican restaurant is Pueblo. It's the other place we're talking about is like cuter, like, you know, whatever. I'm just like, just to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Pueblo is like McDonald's. LC is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, but Pueblo has a time and place. Like, I love good Mexican food. Yeah. And LC is so good. They have better margs. If you want a marg, you have to go to LC. If you want food, like better food, you got to go to Pueblo, in my opinion. But the ones at Pueblo are so sugary. Like, we got them one time, the frozen ones, and I like literally couldn't finish it. Like, it made my stomach hurt so bad. So I was like, whatever, no. So
but then Tatiana got a mojito, and I like didn't even realize that they like did mojitos there.
Well, one time I tried to order one there, and they said they were out of mint.
Yes, I do remember that actually. I guess I had forgotten that they did mojitos. And then I was like, dang, now I want a mojito. And one of the other guys that we were with was like, oh, no, like, I make really good mojitos. Like,
who?
Dawson. And he was like, you guys have to come over so I can make you guys some. And I was like, okay, perfect. I was like, oh, we're going to your house this weekend to see the movie. Perfect. I was like, so are you going to make some this weekend? He was like, yeah, I just have to get the stuff. And I was like, perfect. Awesome. So looking forward to that tomorrow.
That is so funny. This is the last thing I'm going to say in our vibe roundup is this is stupid. Like they're the 818 and Chamberlain Coffee collab. Like it's kind of dumb because it's basically just this kit that has a cold brew pack, a martini glass, a martini shaker, and some stickers. Oh. So you have to buy the tequila separate.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
I mean, yeah, but like, why would you even put that? Like, in my head, they were going to put out like Betty Buzz. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were going to do like
a pre-mix.
Like a pre-mixed. Because like, Chamberlain Coffee has pre-mixed stuff. Yeah. Don't they? They don't just have packets. Yeah. And so I'm just like, it just felt like it's just so weird. Like,
no, it's kind of cute though.
No.
It's really cute.
Don't get me wrong. The set is cute. Yeah. Like, if you look it up, like, it's sold out, so you can't have it. Right. It's cute. What I'm saying is, I'm like, I would have rather y'all put out just because I'm like, yeah. Okay, well, I would consider getting 818 tequila to make a espresso martini, but, like, I'm just kind of like, yeah. I just kind of think that that's silly. Anyway, that's, okay. Like, I really thought it was, like, a pre-made, like, yeah. Whatever. No. Anyway, that's all we have to say.
That was the slowest speed run catch up you've ever.
Yeah, that was so long. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and put this out there. Let me tell you the truth. I'm just made this executive decision. Okay. The two things we're about to talk about are we're gonna wrap up book club. Yep. And we're gonna talk about the Torture Post department. Yep. That's it. Okay. So let's get
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
Okay. Book club.
Here's what I have to say. I read this weeks ago. Madison listened to it today and then read a summary for the last little bit. Yes. So maybe some of this will be Madison asking me questions because she did ask me some questions. Yes. And when you first asked me them, I completely forgot about a couple of things. But then when you kept asking more questions, I was like, oh yeah. Yes, like when you asked who killed Brooke, I was like, oh well, it was Josie. But then I remembered the other side of the coin.
Okay. So I kept not listening to the book every time that we would be like, oh, we're not going to record this week. Right. Because I was like, I want it to be fresh, but I'm also like not that like into the book.
I got more into it at the end.
I know you said that. And so I was like, I want to listen to it because I want to experience the, oh my gosh, like whatever. But then as time kept going, I was like, I don't care. I was like, genuinely, I'm kind of over it.
She's nothing but honest.
And not that, like, literally nothing to do with the actual book, but I think for me personally, I think it's a personal problem. And I just didn't want to listen to the book anymore. Like, I wanted it to be done. Yeah. I just wanted to know what happened. But because you said that it got good or whatever, like there was a plot twist, whatever. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, maybe I should just listen to it, like, suck it up, get over it. But then I started listening to it last night on my drive home from work, and then again this morning I listened to some, and I probably listened to like an hour or something this morning, and I was like, I still have an hour and a half left to listen to. Mm-hmm. I was like, I can't. Like, I feel like nothing's happened. Like, all the things that have been, like, hinted about or, like, been a question are still a question, just, like, stated as questions now. Mm-hmm. Like, Nathan didn't show up, and then it's like, oh, it's actually been 2 days now since he didn't show up, and I'm like, I don't care, actually. Yeah. Just tell me where he is. I don't know.
Just tell me where he is.
I don't care how long he's been gone. Yeah. And like the whole Brooke thing, and then Roxy interviews. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Josie's mom interviews with her, and I was just like, I don't know what to think. I don't want to try and think about this anymore. I just want to know what happened. Yeah. And so then you were like, just look up a summary, and I was like, okay, fine, I will. And so I looked up at like 3 or 4 people's, I guess, like, essentially like blog posts. Like, one was on Reddit, 2 of them were like their own websites or whatever. And essentially all of them were like, so like, who do you guys think killed Brooke? And like, what do you guys think happened to
And I actually do have my answer on who I think killed Brooke based off of something in the book.
Well, based off of my summaries that I read, I am under the belief that Roxy potentially, like, something happened. And, like...
I'm also under the belief that Roxy killed her.
Like,
killed
somewhat
Brooke.
Unintentionally, but obviously...
Yeah.
There was some intent if it happened.
Let me go through a small recap of what happened in the last fourth of the book that we read this past time. Basically, Nathan didn't come home for 48 hours. The hotel called Alex and they were like, hey, the room's really damaged. You need to, like, pay for it. And she was like, can I see that? And they were like, sure. Then Alex got them to let her see the security footage. And the room was booked under Aaron Fair. So Aaron, not
Also,
Josie.
I didn't realize the last name. So when she said that, I didn't think anything about it.
Okay. Alex called and reported Nathan missing, and a few hours later, someone anonymously reported that Alex and Walter went missing, saying that they were Aaron's friend, or Walter and Aaron went missing. It was somebody that was Aaron's friend. Walter was found dead in the apartment. Aaron was found tied up into a chair, barely alive, and went into a coma. I also was like, that's not realistic that Aaron's still alive if she would have been sitting in that chair for a week when she had died of thirst, but apparently it said that she was drinking like dirty mop water, and I was like, that's disgusting. Roxy shows up at the police station and tells him that there's no way Walter would have hurt Aaron, and alludes to the fact that the Brooke stuff never happens. She said Aaron is famous for gaming and the dad games with her. That's what I was saying, like, Walter wasn't abusing Aaron. He was going in there to play video games with her all night.
Yes.
And there's proof of that because of her stream.
Well, in the interviews with the gamers earlier in the book, you know, they say that, like, they have no idea anything about her personal life. And I'm like, that feels like a strange comment to have made if they see her dad on the stream all the time.
Yeah, that is true.
So I'm like, was that the lie? Just to cover up
But, like,
this?
wouldn't have there been plenty of hours of, like, Twitch is, like...
Yeah,
like,
but,
you can
like,
look up streams.
One of the summaries I read said that, like, all of her streams were, like, deleted. Like, the account was deleted.
Okay, well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm
Or,
choosing
like,
to believe
couldn't be
that...
found or whatever,
I'm
I
choosing
don't
to
know.
believe that he was streaming with her.
Yeah.
That's my
I still would like
choice.
to believe that.
Roxy says that Josie hated Aaron and Roxy and was jealous of them. Roxy said that none of the Brooke and Walter stuff was true, and that actually Brooke and Roxy were dating, and Josie was jealous of Brooke because Roxy loved her. Then Roxy punched Brooke for saying some stuff about Aaron and ran away because she got kicked. She says that she ran away because she got kicked out of school. Pat comes forward, who is Josie's mom, and says that she dated Walter first. So weird. Nathan is then found dead in the lake, and Josie sends Alex a voice memo trying to convince her that that wasn't her intention, that she's not a bad person. Aaron then wakes up, and then they find Brooke in the storage unit, and then it flashed forward a year or something, and Josie is basically, like, thinking, and she's like, I'll just read some of it because I just pulled it up on my Kindle. She says, like, she says, basically, well, I'm not going to read it because it's actually too much, but basically Roxy, she says that, like, she didn't know what she was doing, but, like, that Josie said that she came home and Roxy was kneeling over Brooke's body, saying she didn't mean to kill her. So then they called Walter, and Walter talked, like, slowly through, like, what they should do, and they put her in a storage unit. And then that Walter, like, and then the night that Walter died, he had a heart attack because Josie threatened to, like, tell Alex that story, which is why I do believe that Roxy was the one that killed Brooke, because if Walter was fed up with Josie and her BS, why would he care? If Josie was the one that killed Brooke, Walter wouldn't have cared if she told somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have had a heart attack over that. Like, he didn't care about her. Like, yeah, I guess he was involved in it, kind of, but, like...
Yeah.
Like, I think that it was because he wanted to protect Roxy. And maybe there are holes in that, but that's just, like, what I think. I think that Roxy probably did kill her. Now, I still think that Josie's crazy. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think she did all the other terrible things.
Yeah.
But... And I feel bad for Alex that Nathan's dead.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he wasn't perfect, but, like, he could have been doing worse stuff.
Yeah. But, like, he also could have recovered.
Yeah, like, they could have worked on that. Like, he hadn't cheated on her. Like,
if he wanted to, I guess.
Yeah, they weren't beyond... He wasn't beyond, like, repair, I guess. And now he's dead,
he wasn't psychotic.
Yeah, like, there's not a screw loose in him. Like,
he wasn't the pedophile.
Yeah, he just probably needs to go to counseling for a year or two. He probably would have been
some intense marriage counseling.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's how it wraps up. I did like the book. Again, I think I have to stop reading thrillers in this format because then I lose interest.
Yeah.
Like, thrillers for me are meant to be read in 2 days. Yeah. Just to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I'm going to wait maybe a week and then maybe try and read like a cheesy.
You should read the new Emily Henry book.
I want to, but I don't want to buy it.
Well, Kendall has it. You can borrow it from her.
Yeah, but that means that she needs to read it.
I don't think she's going to read it until... I think she's going to read it on Monday, she told me. And she's going to read it in like 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Okay.
So that's book club.
Yep. All right. Torture Poets Department.
Yep.
The anthology.
Yes. So the lead up to this was that me and Madison and my cousin's wife, Sydney Slay, we now have a group message, which is awesome. And we were talking about a lot of theories with like all the twos and stuff. And I was like, look, I desperately want to believe that this is, she's also releasing Reputation because I saw one TikTok that said like, okay, she's going to release the Torture Poets Department, and that's about, well, we thought it was all going to be about Joe.
End of Joe.
And Reputation was like the beginning of Joe, so she's going to wrap it up and just like be done with it.
She's like, bye, Joe.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking, obviously it didn't happen.
Yep.
Now, this is a random thought that just came in my head. Oh. I feel like there are, I don't know when she's going to release Reputation because there's definitely songs about Joe in the vault.
Yeah.
So I'm like, isn't that just going to be hurtful for you to... I don't know. I don't think she's actually that hurt by Joe.
I mean, honestly, she's probably already recorded them.
Yeah. I think that she's more hurt by the end of their relationship than anything he really did. Like, I think that it's more that, like, she thought it was going to be this, like...
Yeah.
That they were going to be together forever, and they're not. More than, like... I think she's more upset about the idea of him instead of, like, things he did.
Yeah.
Whereas with Maddie Healy, she's upset.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about all these theories, and then what actually happened was she released it at midnight, and then at 2 a.m. she released 15 more songs.
Yeah. Because obviously Friday was a work day for us.
I did not stay up.
I didn't intentionally stay up or anything. I went to bed, woke up at like 12:45-ish, started listening through the album, was like... trying to pay attention, but also like I was half asleep.
That's
like
why
eyes closed,
I stopped listening to them because I never end up liking them when I listen to them at midnight. Like when we listen to Midnights at midnight, I was like, I don't care about this. I want to go to bed.
No,
like
I remember.
I was in such a bad mood. I was like, I hate this album. Like so
I was like, and I was like, oh my god.
I was like, all right, well, I should just listen to this in the morning. I did wake up at 2:45 in the morning to see if she had dropped extra songs, and she had.
And so I was listening to the album. At 2 a.m., I get the tweet notification for Taylor, like, posting, and I was like, no way. I was like, no chance. She just tweeted at 2 a.m. when we were all talking about maybe this might happen. And then I, like, click on it, see it, that she's, like, another 16 tracks, or however many it ended up being more, to make 31 total. And... the anthology, and I was like, no freaking way. So then it was like perfectly timed so that I like finished out the first half of the album as the second half was added onto Spotify, and so I just listened straight through the entire album, half asleep, so like I got basically nothing other than the ultimate vibe,
right?
And like a couple lines that stood out because I was listening on Spotify for most of it, and was like annoyed that the lyrics weren't on there yet. And then they
are on there
now, they are, but not when the album first drops on Spotify. And so I remembered that I had an Apple Music free trial going on.
I was about to say, you pay for both?
No, not normally.
I was like, free trial
because remember the last time we recorded, I wanted to listen to the snippets of her describing the playlists, and so I went on there, and they have the lyrics immediately. And so then I was, like, reading along the lyrics. Yeah. So overall, I was exhausted the next day and felt like crap. But I had heard all the songs at least once.
Yeah. For Midnights, I liked, like, this is like overall, like, I'm not saying like, oh, I liked more of the songs. It's just like overall, I liked the vibe of the 3 a.m. tracks more than I liked the original Midnights album. That's how I felt at first. I don't remember
what the 3 a.m. tracks are.
It's like Would've, Could've, Should've. That's one of them. That's a 3 a.m. track. The one about John Mayer, allegedly.
Yes. For some reason, I thought that was on Red, which makes no sense.
Okay. Anyway, this, I feel the opposite. I really like the core Tortured Poets Department album. Like, I really like all the songs on there.
Yes.
Honestly, the only one that I really skip, and I feel like this is going to be a
okay, the first section ends with Clarabow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I feel like this is gonna be a controversial statement, but the only ones I like am like meh about, I don't necessarily skip them, I just like don't really care about them, are Guilty as Sin and LOML. Love of My Life. Those are the only two, but like all the other ones I'm obsessed, and Fresh Out the Slammer is like okay, but all the other ones like I'm obsessed with. And then when it comes to the anthology, I do really like The Black Dog. The Black Dog, I like love that song.
Yeah.
And I like Thank You Amy. I actually do like The Prophecy.
Yeah, I like The Prophecy.
And The Bolter.
I love The Bolter. The Bolter is in my top 5.
Yeah. And like I like the Albatross and Chloe or Sam or Sophia and Marcus, like those are, and How Did It End, like those are good. I actually do really like How Did It End.
Yeah, I don't think I've fully listened to all the lyrics.
Yeah,
I just like those individually.
I just like the vibe of the original 16 more than the additional 15. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'd agree. Out of the, like, I went through and liked my favorite songs so that I could like tell people, because everyone kept asking me my favorites. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. And so then
I would literally like every single one on the first 16.
I liked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 from the first half that I was like, okay, this is my vibe. And then I only liked The Bolter from the second half. I really love The Bolter and The Prophecy, but
I like The Prophecy is so pretty. It's such a pretty song.
The first song, through like all my first listen through, I was like, oh, I love this song, was I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. Like my very first listen, I was like, oh my gosh.
For me, on my very first listen, the only one that's like the one that was not the only one, but the one that like stood out to me was Florida.
Yeah, I know you said that, and Florida. I did not like Florida the first listen, and I was like, what the bleep is wrong Florence, with you?
Though.
But now I'm into it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try my hardest to say my top 5, and these are in no order. I can't order them. I really, really like this album. Hi, Bennett. Bennett has come in to weigh on the Torture Poets Department. What do you have to say?
Yeah,
it'd be really funny if he burped right now or something. Okay, Fortnite. I love Fortnite. Also, I
don't have it like
Jackson's in the other room, but I am in love with Post Malone, and so I just. Anyway, okay, so I love Fortnite. That's definitely on my top 5.
Okay.
Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Also on my top 5. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. The Black Dog. And then after that, like, there's so many that I want to add, but I'll say... Did I say Florida?
No.
What? Fortnite? Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. The Black Dog.
Florida?
Gosh, there's... I don't know, but I like so many. I don't know. Honestly, my fifth spot is a tie between like So Long London, Florida, and The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Like, I love all 3 of those songs. Probably the most right now is The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. But I still really like so many other ones. Like, it's so hard for me.
That's so funny.
What are your top 5?
Okay, these are the ones that I liked because I kept like going back to listen to that one instead of just like playing the whole album. The Tortured Poets Department, mostly because I love the way that she says the Tortured Poets Department. With her little like, I don't even know. Down Bad.
Down Bad's good too. See, like there's so
many.
It. But I also love But Daddy I Love Him and I Can Fix Him. No,
okay,
really
girl,
I
it's
can't.
not your turn.
I know. But...
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is probably my favorite. That and Down Bad are the ones that I keep going back to and playing. Clarabow.
So good also.
And The Bolter Or my 5. I think that was 5.
That was 4, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was 5.
Say them again.
The Bolter. Clairbout. I Could Do It With a Broken Heart. Down Bad. Torture Poets Department.
Yes, I forgot you said the Torture Poets Department.
Down Bad. Cry.
Like, they're just all so good. How Did It End? I really like How Did It End. Here's what I'm gonna say.
And also, like, the Alchemy is So High School being about Travis.
Here's what I'm gonna say. How many of these songs that were about Maddie Healy was flooring.
Crazy.
Every single song, I'm gonna tell you guys all listening right now, every single song that talks about a man doing drugs, that's about Maddie Healy.
For sure.
If you think Joe Alwyn's out there asking for pills, I mean,
probably
like,
not
maybe,
pills.
but probably not as loudly as Maddie Healy is.
Yeah.
And Fresh Out the Slammer is so good to me too, because I'm like, you're crazy, bro. She's so crazy. Here's what I want to say. The only song, and I get that she's been working on this album for 2 years. But if I was her, I honestly wouldn't have released this song. I don't think that she should have released I'm Gonna Get You Back, because it's the same song as Get You Back from Olivia Rodrigo. And I'm gonna be really honest, and I actually haven't seen this opinion out there. I've seen the opposite opinion. This song is not as good as Get You Back. Like, Get You Back is to me a better song.
Yeah, it's because it's like angsty and poppy and you get mad.
Yeah, I'm Gonna Get You Back brings no emotion out of me. Like, not
in the same way.
Not like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart and The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived and Who's Afraid of Little Me. Like, those are evoking emotion to me. Same with Get You Back by Olivia Rodrigo. Yeah. I just think if I was her, I would have, if I was Taylor Swift and you were my best friend.
If I was Abigail.
Yeah, or like Selena or one of these people. Yeah. I would have wanted you to look at me and been like, hey girl, Olivia's song is better. You shouldn't release that. Like, and I would have taken that. I would have taken that with my chest and I would have taken it off the album. Like, I'm just like.
Yeah, I am intrigued that because people have already like made the comparison between Olivia and Taylor's music, and Taylor technically sued Olivia over the New Year's Day stuff. I think it is interesting that she put out a song that has very similar.
It's the same song.
Yeah.
Like, which is crazy to me. And I'm like, I get, like, Ed Sheeran said this one time, like, there's little originality in music because you can only do so many chords. Like,
those are the lyrics.
But, like, that's the lyric and the idea of the song. Come on. And
the whole thing.
And so I'm just kind of like, I saw somebody say, like, I'm Gonna Get You Back is champagne and Get You Back is beer. Like, and I'm Gonna Get You Back is, like, adult and Get You Back is... And I'm like, no.
I don't think so.
I'm Gonna Get You Back is...
I think they're both
is an okay
petty,
song.
like,
yeah, I think I'm Gonna Get You Back is an okay song.
High school vibes.
And I think the idea of, like... I mean, maybe there's a song before Olivia Rodrigo giving the same idea, but, like, the fact that you're saying Get You Back and you're playing on, like, I'm gonna get you back, like, I'm gonna get back together with you, or, like, I'm gonna, like, get revenge on you is such, like, I hadn't heard that in a song before, so if you're then Taylor to release a song that is the same thing, I'm like, you knew what you were doing, and I think that she thinks she ate, and my personal opinion is that she didn't. Like, and again, this whole album is so good. I love this album. Everyone that's saying they don't like this album is upsetting to me. Not everyone's saying that, but the people that are saying it is upsetting to me because it's really good.
I will say that because of how long I've been like a... I'm so stupid. Every time I say it, I'm annoyed at myself. But like, I've been such a big like actual fan of hers since I was like in elementary school. So like I've seen like the whatever about her like change over time, and like I was there for 2016. I was there in 2017 when Reputation dropped. Like, ride or die. I was there when Folklore came out. Like, yeah. And so it's like the people that are saying they don't like the album are the people who became fans because of Midnights and because of the Eras tour. Which, like, great. Like, I love that my favorite artist is having a big impact and like whatever. It was doing really well. But I'm not mad that it might be easier to get tickets to her next tour. Yeah. If people are like, man, I don't like her anymore. Yeah.
I think my only comment at first was that in some ways it is kind of similar. It's it's pretty similar. Like, I feel like part of it's pretty similar to Evermore and Folklore, and the other half of it's like pretty similar to Midnight's. And so at first I was like, I told Jackson, I was like, the reason that one of the main reasons, I have a million reasons why I love Taylor Swift, but one of my big reasons is that like I am a person who I like so many different genres of music, and she has done so many different genres. So I was like, so to hear something in a repetitive genre for her would not be jarring for another fan of somebody of a different artist. Like, that's not jarring to me to listen to a Post Malone album and it be the same feel as the last album.
Yeah.
But I think that for me at first, I was like, well, I don't know if I like it because I'm used to hearing something new and different, and this doesn't feel new and different. But then the more I listen to it, the more I just like the song.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think the number one complaint that happens every time Taylor releases something is that people are like, oh, her songs just sound the same. And I'm like, okay, so have you ever listened to a country artist? Every country song sounds exactly the same. That's all I'm saying. Like I enjoy some country, but they all sound exactly the same.
Most of his songs sound the same, and like I feel like most of these people, like, they have their feel and then they have one slow song, or they have their feel and they have one fast song, and I'm like have you ever listened to a Luke Combs album all the way through? I love Luke Combs, no hate. But all the songs sound the same too. Like,
yeah, like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
If you're using the same producers, you're using the same songwriters. Like, yeah. I mean, I am hopeful that eventually she'll maybe stop using both Aaron and Jack.
Really, you don't like them?
Not that I don't like them. I just want something like.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point where I can. Which I feel like a lot of people got to this point, but I used to not, because I used to not pay attention to Jack and Aaron at all. Like, I didn't really, not that I didn't care, I just like didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And now I've started paying attention, and I was telling Jackson this. I was like, I can listen to 20 seconds of this song and I can tell you whether Jack or Aaron produced it.
Yeah.
Like, and because Spotify will show you, and I would click on a song and I'd be like, this one's Aaron, and I'd scroll up and it was Aaron, because they're so distinct. But and before I didn't understand that as much. Before like the Eras Tour, I just wasn't really paying attention to her producers. Like, I didn't really care. Honestly, I think that if you would have asked me 5 months ago, I'd have been like, didn't she stop working with Aaron Dessner? Like, I just like don't know a lot of those things. But then I started paying attention and I was like, oh, this is Jack. Like,
yeah, I think my complaint is that like her songs now just feel like they are a Bleachers / Jack Antonoff song, or they feel like they're Aaron Dessner / what's his group?
I don't know.
The National.
Some sad
National,
group.
I think.
Yeah.
Like they just sound like those.
Wait,
songs.
The National Parks or
No,
the National?
Oh. I know. Also confusing. But like her songs don't feel like.
They're just very one way or the other, I think, for me.
Yes, but it doesn't feel like it's Taylor. Like, it just feels like it's either a national song or a Bleacher song.
It's like, these are the lyrics, and the lyrics are Taylor.
Yeah, the lyrics
but then
are
the
Taylor's,
feel of it. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I want like a... Well,
maybe she could do a self-produced.
That would be crazy. I don't know if she would.
She wouldn't, because she loves working with people too much, but...
Yeah, she loves her tight circle.
Yeah.
But anyways...
Great album. I'm
a fan of the album. I kind of wish there was a couple, maybe like 2 more like dancey songs, like more poppy.
See, I think I expected this album to have none, so the fact that there was any, I'm okay with. I know my Mac's gonna die.
Yeah. So.
Where does this fall for you in your rankings, do you think?
Like maybe 3 or 4.
I would agree. I think 3 or 4 for me.
I don't know what the first 2 or 3 might be, but
I think my first
Folklore's up there for me.
I think my first 2 are Rep and Evermore, and then probably after that this, and then Midnights. I definitely like it more than Midnights, I think. I like more songs on it than I like on Midnights, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I need more time to think about it.
Well, we'll see you next Monday. Maybe.
Gorgeous.